Good morning. This is Miss McKibbin. This is Monday, March 23rd. And today in Algebra 2, we're going to be evaluating piecewise functions. A piecewise function is made up of distinct pieces depending on rules assigned for the domains, the x's. There will be at least two different pieces to the function. We will only be evaluating piecewise functions. We will not be graphing piecewise functions. Evaluating means to find the value for a specific x, or a specific piece of the domain, a number in the domain. This is what a piecewise function looks like with two separate pieces. For all values of x in between -1 and 2, you have the piece of the function x plus 3. For x values between 2, including 2 to 5, you have the function 2x minus 4. So when they ask you to find a specific value for an x value, like right here in letter A, and it says find f of 3, I have to decide, does 3 fall into the restrictions for this top function, or does 3 fall into the restrictions for the bottom function? Well, 3 falls in between 2 and 5, so I'm going to plug 3 into the bottom half of this function. 2x minus 4, 2 times 3 minus 4, and then I'm just going to find the value. 2 times 3 is 6, 6 minus 4 is 2. So f of 3 is equivalent to 2. For letter B, I want to find f of 0. 0 falls in between -1 and 2. So f of 0 is going to use the top piece of the function, x plus 3. Plug my 0 in for x. Find the value. 0 plus 3 is 3. So f of 0 is equivalent to 3. F of 2. You've got to be careful on this one where it's f of 2, because this top piece does not include 2. The bottom piece is where 2 is less than or equal to x and less than 5. The value of 2 is included here in this bottom piece because that's where x is equal to it. So I use the bottom function, 2x minus 4. Plug in my x value. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 4, and that is 0. F of 2 is equivalent to 0. All right, let's take a look at another example. Here we have f of x, and our top function is the constant 5 for all values between -5 and 2. And our bottom half of the function is 3/2 x minus 2 for 2 to 6. So part A asks me to find f of -4. -4 falls up here in this restriction. -4 is in between -5 and 2. So there's not really anything to work out there. There's not an x to plug it into. It is just equivalent to 5. It is a constant. Right here where it asks me to find f of +4, +4 falls between 2 and 6. So I'm using the bottom piece of the function for +4. So 3/2 times x minus 2. I plug my 4 in there. 3/2 times 4 minus 2. Well, if I reduce here, 2 goes into 4 twice. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 2. And that gives me 4. So f of 4 equals 4. Letter C asks me to find f of 2. So again, this is where you've got to be careful. Where is 2 equal to? Up here, this is where x is less than or equal to 2. Here's just where x is greater than 2. So again, f of 2 uses the top piece of the function, which is just the constant 5. Again, you don't have to plug anything in. it's the constant 5. Let's look at a couple of more examples. Here for our domain restrictions, instead of giving us inequalities, we have the constant -4 for all x's not equal to 3. So that would mean any x besides 3 has the constant -4. Any x equal to 3 has the constant +4. So right here, f of 5 does not equal to 3, so f of 5 is just equal to -4. F of 3, well, 3 does equal 3. So f of 3 is going to be equal to +4. F of 10, again, 10 does not equal 3, so f of 10 is going to be equivalent to -4. Both pieces of these function, or this function, was constant, so you don't have to substitute in the x value. Let's take a look at this example number 4. Here we're not only seeing 2 pieces to our function, we are seeing 3 pieces. So I have -3/2 x plus 7 for all x values less than 2. I have the constant 3 for an x value equal to 2. And I have the function x minus 6 for x values between 2 and 7. So if they ask me to find f of 4, does 4 fall into the top, the middle, or the bottom? Well, 4 falls in between 2 and 7. So I'm using the piece of the function x minus 6. I'm plugging in my 4. X minus 6 is -2. So f of 4 is equal to -2. Move these up just a little bit. All right, our second one, f of 0. Where does 0 fall in this function? Well, 0 is the top piece. It is less than 2. 0 is less than 2, so I'm going to plug in 0 into that top piece. -3/2 0 plus 7. Let me make this x first. -3/2 x plus 7. Then I substitute in my 0 for my x. Well, anything times 0 is just 0. So 0 plus 7 gives me 7. So f of 0 has a value of 7. The last piece to this example, letter C, find f of 2. Well, f of 2, well, 2 is equal to 2. This piece is a constant. It is the value 3. There's no x to plug in. It's just if it equals 2, the value is 3. You'll be working a Delta Math assignment evaluating piecewise functions. Just be sure to look at your x value and determine which portion of the piecewise function you should substitute into. If you have any questions, please send me an email or remind or contact your Algebra 2 teacher. I hope you have a great Monday and a great start to week 2.